Do you want to come in for some lemonade?
Like you wouldn't believe.
This place is really my grandmother's. I got it from her when she moved to Florida. Otherwise, I could never afford a place like this. You thirsty?
Oh, you bet I am.
Okay, here's your penis.
So we were able to finally get him. The Last Ronin Teenage Ninja Turtle, Battle Damaged. We don't really collect a whole lot of Last Ronin, but we had to get this figure, and for good reason. The main reason basically is that he's naked. It's a very interesting way to do him. He definitely looks like he's ready to fight. He's not going to hold anything back, for he's seen so much hurt and pain in his life. He's really cool. You can get him with damage on his face or without. Here's a little bit about the Last Ronin in case you don't know. Okay, let's check this turtle out. Let's get him out of the package and see what he looks like in person. Well, I guess in this case for you guys it'd be, let's see what he looks like on video. Hopefully we can do him nice and justice. There's definitely nothing like a new painted figure smell. It smells really strong, so you know he's nice and fresh. Factory sealed, of course, he was. So here he is, out of package. He looks really cool. He definitely no longer looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. He definitely, the things he's gone through and the years has caught up to him, and now he's a grown adult. Of course, he also looks like, you know, one of the turtles just like hulked out. If you want to have a turtle that looks like he beefed up like the Hulk or lifted a bunch of weights, this turtle would be definitely a good addition to your line. I think he looks pretty cool. I like the details in this paint job with all the spots and the blood veins showing. He looks really fierce and about to kick some ass. Now let's look at his additional heads, hands, and etc. So look at that. This is all the accessories that come in the package with him. So you get 3 additional heads. 2 of the heads are without bandages and 2 of the heads are with bandages. You also get 3 sets of hands, and you get book that comes with it, and the teapot and the tea cup. So that way, if you want to do a Japanese tea ceremony or just any tea for any of your characters, you now have a nice tea set that comes with it. Here's a nice book written with the Japanese characters on the front cover of the book, and it opens like a Japanese book, so it'll be opening reverse Western style. It has a buckle or strap to as extra detail to look as if it was opened up, and normally it's bound. Here's a tea kettle. Simple design, yet with its own character. They could have gone with a more modern look or even more just pottery itself, but the handle and the little sketch lines add its own individual character. So here's the cup for the tea ceremony or tea itself. Nice, simple, classic look. Okay, we're going to start looking at the heads by themselves. Really nice detail throughout. Great facial expression. He really is upset or yelling, or if you just want to use that as a talking mouth. But it looks really nice. Good eyebrows to express emotion. Good texture throughout the whole thing. Those spots on the back of his head are actually a texture, so it's not just painted. Here's another one of his heads with the bandages, so you get 2 of them, as I said before, so that way you can have a closed mouth and an open mouth. Still intense expression on, but it also could be he's smiling. Either way, it looks really nice. This is an open mouth, slightly open mouth. It's not just basically a rehash without the bandages. It has its own mouth. The line art is really good. I have overall no problem with the paint job. So here's the head that comes with them, in case you're wanting to see what it looks like. Of course, depending on how this is edited, you'll see the order. You may see this first before you see the other heads, of course. Good, nice original head. Let's put these heads on them and see what they look like. So the heads do fit really nice and snugly on the figure itself. You're not going to have to worry about the head just popping off or anything like that. But it is not too snug that you would have to worry about breaking the figure to get the head off. So far the heads I put on it seem to fit just perfectly with no problems at all. So just keep that in mind, that you are getting quality when it comes to the head. In case you're wanting to see what it looks like without the head on him, pretty simple. But we're going to put his original head back on. It came starting on the figure, the default head. See, it comes on pretty easily. I struggled a little bit more on footage than I did outside of footage. But as you see, it comes back on nice and easily and seems pretty seamless for the most part. So let's go look at this articulation. He does stand up pretty well on his own. The hardest thing to ever get that thing to stand up for a figure is on our rotating table or rotating display thing. But let's start looking at his articulation. His head is on a swivel, so you can turn it all the way 360, nod, side to side. Great articulation for his head. Now let's look at his arms. You got a nice joint there. Good range of motion despite the shell. You'll be pretty pleased with how you can pose that. His elbow is on a double jointed. This one in particular seems softer than the last one I actually reviewed. It does have some snapping into place, but it is softer than the last one I did, I said. But the last one was like super tough. He starts with a fist. So if you want to do punching or try to make a statement with his fist. This one's elbow on his right seemed to snap into position a lot more, with a lot more resistance, but that doesn't mean anything against it. So just because one's soft on one side doesn't mean both sides are. The wrist, you can see, can spin, and you can also bend it. It's got a joint there, so you can do like an uppercut or something like that. There is a little bit, if you can see this, where shell allows movement, so it's not just a static shell where it's like one solid piece. You can actually kind of slightly adjust it as you need to. It's not noticeable really at all from the front, and it's not really noticeable once you get too noticeable when you get the arms down. In case you ladies were wondering about his butt, he does have a line for a butt. Here's the between the leg shot. Here's the back of a shell, a nice design for it. It's not just round, it actually comes to a point, which is really good touch. Great detail in the veins in his arms and throughout his body. Look at that neck, I'm saying. He looks like a turtle that just hulked out. You definitely don't want to mess with this guy. Now he has he actually has a, double jointed, so he has a knee. For some reason I'm having a little bit trouble getting the bottom of his knee to bend in any direction. I don't want to break it. Let's check the other one. Again, it looks like it's supposed to be double jointed. There we go. So it snaps into place. To add more support when you go to need to pose him. Even though he is naked, he does have wrapped legs, so you could just view that as you will. It looks good either way, with or without the bandages. You can angle his foot up or back. It's on a swivel, so you can swivel it if you want to have it look like he's in your foot or doing some kind of soccer move or whatever your mind can come up with. Could still add detail to the bottom of his feet, and they have those peg holes in case you want to put him on a stand. But I said he seems to stand just fine without it. Of course, it also depends on your surface and how you want to pose him. So if you do need a stand, he is compatible with stands. Now let's replace his arms, or I should say limbs, with his bandages ones, and we could see what that looks like. We'll stick with fist hands for the first showing of that, and then we'll move on to other hands. So here's his arms without the bandages. We're just going to look at him by itself. They gave me the first one gave me a little more resistance than the other one to come out. I was like, oh no, I don't know if I could do this, or it didn't. It made me a little bit of pause, but I knew I could pull it out because you have to. So I mean, I wasn't too worried about breaking it because it's designed to come out. But the first one did give me a little more resistant than the other one. So what it looks like without arms. Still looks pretty fierce. It's just a flesh wound. Come on, I'll get you. So if you want to have him without arms, if you want to do something like Monty Python and the Holy Grail joke with a flesh wound, you can. But let's pop these arms in. We'll do it on camera so you can see what that looks like. Pretty simple. I know I didn't show you what it looks like by itself, but it's pretty cool how easily these go in. In case you're wondering, is it hard to tell which arm goes where? Or if these two are exactly the same. They are definitely not the exact same. Their bandages are separated. Which one's the right arm, which one's the left arm? Well, I mean, you can tell by the muscles themselves where they go, and so that means I put the arms on the wrong side. So let's pop those back out, because his muscles are going the wrong way. So again, this is what it looks like with his arms attached. His hands, in case you do forget which one's which, inside his arm will tell you if it's got an R for right, so that's his right arm, and an L. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but an L for left arm. So that's really cool in case you do forget, like I just or made a mistake. So as I said, his hands do come off. We're going to show what it looks like with fists first. That way you can see comparison of the two. Is that really necessary? Probably not, because you'll get it's pretty straightforward to the gist of it. The hands do look good in his fist / bandage arm form. So he is the champion. He loves to show off his muscles. I'm pretty sure if he wasn't wearing to have a shell, you would see that he's probably got a nice 6-pack, maybe even 8-pack in there. So he is definitely bulked out. We'll check out the range of motion on this, see if it's stiff. What I always liked about having a double jointed arm, or an elbow joint, is that you can actually put stuff in their hands where they could, put it in their mouth or need to reach in weird places.
You grow up.
Whatever your imagination comes up with, it's a lot easier, or even hit himself in the head. It helps make the options more endless. Now, as you saw, I didn't show that, articulation before. but in case you missed that, his arm does swivel there, which makes it easier if you want to put his arms inward. So they do give him really good articulation. Let's see what his hands look like. So as you can see, this figure of the Last Ronin does not come with any weapons of his own, but he does come with a lot of accessories. Mostly just his, hands or arms or head. Now you can use this to do some dance moves, or if you want him to slap someone, he's ready for that. Or do some karate chop action, you can. Of course, now he just looks like he's waving. Hey, I'm over here. But I mean like karate chop action. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Like Buzz from Toy Story, the commercial. Let's see what other hands he has. That sound means it's time to change it up. Let's come back. Let's move on to the next set of hands. Whoops! Awkward. Cut myself off there. Anyway, so even though he doesn't come with weapons, that doesn't mean he's still not a fierce fighter. And he does come with hands that will allow him to hold swords or nunchucks or a bow staff, whatever you want him to hold, he could do it. He definitely looks fierce with that facial expression. And so even though he's not holding any weapons, he looks like he can kick some ass. So let's see what his last set of hands are. I know I'm not spending a whole lot of time on this one, but without any weapons in it, it doesn't really give the figure as much justice for the possibilities. But that doesn't mean he doesn't look pretty cool with these hands. So here's the last set of hands that he comes with. This one looks like he's about to rip you to shreds with these hands. They might be able to use for guns, or if you want to make him look like he's going to strangle you, like a Frankenstein, or maybe he'll take someone's head and rip it off, or maybe you could view it as he's going to crush someone's head. You could do that. This hand definitely can hold the cup. Obviously his other hand, the other hands that came with it cannot. But it looks like he's about to say, lift the glass. Looks like he's about to drink it, or, do some kind of cheers or something. As I said, that's what I love about these kind of joints in the arms. It definitely looks like he can actually drink stuff with it, eat and be merry, even though clearly he is in a very upset mood. But it doesn't mean you can't just pop his head off and change it to something, a little more relaxed. Now, we don't have any other Last Ronin turtle figures to show off what his body will look like with the other heads from the previous turtles. But as I said, you got this face that even though with his angry eyes, he definitely has a smile. His open hands can clearly, obviously you could place something flat on it, like for example this pizza from the pizza launcher, pizza thrower. Maybe he'll get someone slapped on the butt or something. Maybe he can lift up a beautiful April O'Neil with these hands, gently and soft. Maybe he'll stick his hand out and feed a bird.
Ditto!
Clearly this hand is probably one of the better ones to hold the tea kettle. The one that can probably hold swords and nunchucks and all that stuff. Of course you don't want to force this tea kettle into anyone's hand, because the handle is attached by a very thin or small piece of plastic. You don't want to break it, but clearly he seems to hold it just fine without forcing anything. So that is nice. We'll just get a couple more shots in case you want to use this instead of, you know, if in case you want to see this without my hands in it. Pretty nice overall, good detail. The hand designed to hold the weapons also can hold the book. Now it looks like he's casting a spell, or maybe he has his own like that spell type character, and he's using his book to help win and make that spell himself become basically the leader of his world. Pretty cool book. Great design, as I said.
How can you read this? There's no pictures.
Really good detail. It's all how you want to use it or view it. It doesn't really look scary like the Book of the Dead when open, but with his dead-eyed eyes, you can always use your imagination. Whatever he's reading in this book, I wouldn't trust him at all.
Oh, whoops, didn't know it was occupied. That's fine, no harm done, Mikey.
Now, if a girl could have some privacy...
Oh yeah, I'm so embarrassed. Also, I'm not the only one with the turtle head popping up, by the way.
So that's the Last Ronin Battle Damaged figure, I mean. Great overall. I'm very pleased with his articulation, attention to detail, even on his shell. The bandages is a nice touch. He definitely can be, definitely would be a good addition to a turtle collector. Even if you're not into the Last Ronin or you're not big on the style, it really works, and you'd be really pleased with him if you did get him. But if you're on the fence, or you're just not your type of thing and have a turtle that looks like he's hulking out, or you just don't like the Last Ronin, I understand. But if you lasted this long, clearly you have a interest in this figure. We had trouble finding him. Hopefully by the time you watch this, you won't, or you'll be able to get one without have to go to scalpers or anything like that. Cool figure, great heads. What else can I say about him? You could probably use some of your other turtle accessories and it'll probably look really nice on him. We are going to show some pictures and shots with what we've come up with for this figure.
Whoa, babe, we're here au naturel.
Just my style. Shiny and tiny.
Well, Michelangelo, have you finished? Ah! Oops! Persistent little guy, isn't he? Don't be scared, little guy. You're in good hands now. Thank you.
So let us know what you think about this. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We would love to hear from you guys. You guys are what helps keep this channel going. So please let us know your thoughts down below. Thank you. And had a turtle-rific day.
Oh no, not again. What are you reading, by the way?
The Three Musketeers, the book by Dumas. You fellas should read it.
I'll be in my room with the door locked.
Excuse you? What are you doing?
Worth it.